Hello and welcome to our letter of the day video. Our letter for today is the letter I. Take a good look. I want you to be able to recognize that this is letter I. Now that you can recognize it, let's try to write it. The uppercase letter I is just 3 little lines. Let me show you. So we're going to make the number 1. We're going to give it a top and give it a bottom. That's the uppercase I, easy breezy. 1 with a top and a bottom. Now let's see what that looks like on the Handwriting House, and I'll make sure that you have a link below to get the Handwriting House if you'd like to. Okay, so for the Handwriting House, we're going to start upstairs. We're going to make that number 1, and then we're going to give it a top by tracing across the top line, and give it a bottom by tracing across the bottom line. So 1 with a top and a bottom. The top and the bottom should be about the same size across. 1 with a top and a bottom. 1 with the top and a bottom. That's the uppercase letter I. You can pause here and practice, or you can keep watching and practice later. Okay, before we talk about the lowercase I need to tell you something. Ouch! Sometimes I go outside and a mosquito bites me and it's so itchy, and then it leaves me with an itchy dot. Well, did you know that the lowercase I has an itchy dot too? Let me show you. To make the lowercase I, you're just going to make a little number 1, and then you're going to give it an itchy dot. So see if you can make a little I with an itchy dot. I'll show you what that looks like on the Handwriting House. So this is a little letter, so we're going to put that little number 1 part downstairs. But then we're going to put that itchy dot upstairs. We're just going to toss it up like we were tossing a ball upstairs. 1 with a dot. 1 with a dot. 1 with a dot. Now let me show you what some students like to do. They like to put that dot right on the top of that little number 1. That kind of looks like a lollipop, doesn't it? Well, letter I does remind me of a lollipop, but you have to toss that dot way up above the little number 1. So make sure it's not right on it, that it's up in the air. Okay, so that was the lowercase I. Now let's talk about what letter I sounds like. Before we do, though, I want to see if you can tell me what the vowels are. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. These are the vowels. Did you hear me say I? A-E-I-O-U. So I is one of the vowels. Whenever we learn the vowels, we always talk about the vowel people. So today we're going to be talking about my friend I. My friend I loves to eat these. What is this? It's a lollipop. Do you like lollipops? I love lollipops, but there's just one problem. When I eat lollipops, sometimes the stick gets really sticky and then it gets on my hands, and then I say, eh, it makes my hand all sticky. Well, that happens to my friend I too. He gets all sticky because he eats lollipops all the time. And when he gets all sticky, he makes this sound, eh, eh. Can you take your hand and pretend it's all sticky and make this sound? Eh, eh, eh. That's the sound that my friend I makes, and it's also the sound that I, the letter, makes. There's a letter I, lowercase, hiding in this picture. Can you spot the I that's hiding in the picture? Do you see it? It's his lollipop. His lollipop looks like the letter I. So I'm hoping when you see the letter I, it kind of reminds you of the lollipop. And then you'll remember that I says, eh, eh, eh. Well, we always like to play a game to try to make the letter sound stick. So today's game is going to be pretty fun. You're going to put itchy dots on me. So I'm going to read some words and I want you to tell me if the word has I in the middle. If it does, thumbs up. But if it doesn't, thumbs down. If you get it right, you get to put an itchy dot on me. But if you don't get it right, no itchy dots. Okay, are you ready? All right, get your thumb ready. The first one is sit. It. Sit. Let me look. Is your thumb up? You are absolutely right. That means I get an itchy dot. Wah, 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 wah. All right, let's see if we can do the next one. The next one is pin. Pin. Let me look and see. Is your thumb up? You are right again. That means another itchy dot for me. Okay, let's do the next one. Hat. Hat. Thumbs down. Right again. So let me put another itchy dot on. Oh, I'm getting itchy. All right, let's try the next one. Fin. 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 Thumbs up. You're right again. You're so good at this. And that means another itchy dot for me. All right, let's try the next one. The next one is cob. Cob. Thumbs down. That's right. Cob does not have an I. It has an O. Ah. Oh, another itchy dot. Let's do the last one, okay? What about pin? Pin. Thumbs up. You got it right again. That means I have another itchy dot. I think I'll put this one right on my nose. You did a super great job and I'm so itchy. So while I get these itchy dots off, I want to talk to you about what we're going to do for math today. For math, we're going to be doing some measuring with a ruler. I'm going to put the link below so that you can get a copy of the sheet that we're going to use, but you can just watch me too if you'd like. Okay, so we're going to be measuring. Let me show you what a ruler is first. This is a ruler, and a ruler has numbers on it and lines. So each one of these numbers represents an inch. So this is 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, and so forth. To use a ruler, you just take an object like this Lego and put it at the end of the ruler where the ruler begins, where it starts. Then you look with your eyes and see where your object ends. Where's the edge of your Lego? What number is it close to? 2. So this Lego is 2 inches long. Let's try to measure the green car. Let's put the car at the end of the ruler. And now let's look at the other end of the car and see what number it's close to. The car is close to the number 4, so this car is 4 inches long. Let's measure the apple. Remember the steps? Put the apple at the end of the ruler. And then we're going to look with our eyes and see where the edge of the apple comes on the ruler. What number is it close to? Number 3. So that means the apple is 3 inches. Let's try another one. Let's try to measure this pencil. We're going to put the pencil at the end of the ruler. We're looking with our eyes to see where the end of that pencil comes. And it comes right there at number 5. So this ruler is 5 inches. I have one more. I want to measure this iguana. So there's a number that needs to come right after the number 7. What comes after 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 comes next. Now let's look with our eyes. Let's look at the tip of this iguana's nose and let's see what number we come to. Number 8. So this iguana is 8 inches long. Okay, can you guess what color we're going to do today? Any guesses? If you guessed green, then you are absolutely right. We're going to talk about a green iguana. So our color today is the color green. Can I change the song just a little bit? The song says that grasshoppers are green, but instead of saying grasshoppers, let's say iguanas are green, okay? All right, let's see if we can spell green. Green, green. I know how to spell green. Green. Caterpillars are green, iguanas are too. I know how to spell green. Green. That's how you spell green. Well, our shape today is the rectangle, and I have a green rectangle to show you. Let me show you what a rectangle is, and then we're going to use a rectangle for our art project today. This is Ricky Rectangle. Ricky Rectangle, don't get me wrong. 2 sides short and 2 sides long. That's how you know if it's a rectangle. There are 2 sides that are short and 2 sides that are long. I'll put the link below so you can get this printable. But let's make some rectangles and let's do our art project now. I'm going to move my camera so you can see. Okay, so this is a cute little iguana printable, and I'll put the link below so you can get a copy too. Now I'm just taking some green paper and I'm going to cut a strip out of the green paper. Let's take a look at this shape really quickly. What shape is this strip? It's a rectangle. Do you know how I know? 2 sides are short and 2 sides are long. Next, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to make some smaller rectangles. This is a really great cutting activity for those that are just beginning to learn how to cut. Pretty simple cuts. All right, now I have lots of little rectangles. So I'm just going to take these little rectangles and I'm going to glue them to my iguana. That makes him look really nice. And it also helps me remember that today our color is green and our shape is the rectangle. All right, let's do some science now. For science today, we're going to be learning about iguanas, and prepare to be amazed. Iguanas are so cool. When God created iguanas, he really created a cool animal with some really neat features. So let me start by showing you a picture of an iguana, okay? Iguanas have rough skin and it's kind of bumpy. They have 4 legs, and on each leg there are toes. Look at those long toes and the fingernails at the end of the toes. That helps the iguana to be able to climb really well and to hang on. This iguana looks like he's climbing on a tree. Did you know that if iguanas climbed to the top of a tree and somehow fell accidentally, they could be okay? Iguanas can survive really high falls, like from the top of a tree or the top of your house. Isn't that amazing? Now, an iguana has a predator. A predator, that means that it's an animal that wants to eat the iguana. So an iguana's main predator is a hawk. A hawk is a bird. But take a look at this iguana. What color is he? He's green. He's green like what? What do you see around the iguana that's also green? Plants and leaves and trees. So when the hawk flies overhead and it looks down below, it's going to be hard to see the iguana. He looks like the leaves and the plants. This is called camouflage, and iguanas are masters of it. Here we can see this iguana looks just like his surroundings. That's what camouflage is. Iguanas are also really excellent and great swimmers. If something's after the iguana, he can even dive deep down in the water really quickly, so he can swim and dive. Take a look at this iguana. If you look really carefully, you can see that he's been munching on this leaf. Iguanas are herbivores. That means they eat leaves and fruit and plants. Do you see how bright and green this iguana looks? Notice what he's sitting on, some nice green leaves. Now take a look at this next picture. Now what color is the iguana? He looks kind of brown, doesn't he? And he's sitting on a stump. Well, iguanas can change color. Remember I told you they're masters of camouflage. This helps them to survive so that nobody can see them. So here this iguana looks just like his surroundings. Look at the long tail on this iguana. If something were chasing this iguana and trying to catch it and eat it, did you know that the iguana can break off its tail? And it doesn't hurt him. He can let his tail break off and then it's okay. He can grow a new one. I told you iguanas were amazing. God designed some really cool animals with the iguana. But I'm afraid to tell you in our story today, the iguana doesn't think she's very great. In fact, she's not satisfied or content with how she is and how God made her. She wants to be like everybody else. So let's read this story together. It's called Me Too Iguana. This story is by Jacquelyn Reinach. Me Too Iguana. Iguana had a lovely green color and a long bumpy tail and an apartment and a balcony with a tree growing on it. But Iguana wasn't satisfied with her lovely green color or her long bumpy tail or anything else she had. Whatever anybody else had, she wanted it too. At the supermarket, Iguana saw Elephant, the manager, lifting cans of soup with her trunk. A trunk, cried Iguana. Me too, me too. I want a trunk too. So Iguana went home and cut a piece of rubber hose. She painted it gray and tied it to her nose. Good, said Iguana. Now I have a trunk too. At the barber shop, Iguana saw Lion getting his mane trimmed. A mane, cried Iguana. Me too, me too. I want a mane too. So Iguana went home and stuck a lot of thick yellow wool all over her head. Good, said Iguana. Now I have a trunk and a mane too. At the car wash, Iguana watched Zebra taking a shower. His black and white stripes gleamed in the sunlight. Stripes, cried Iguana. Me too, me too. I want stripes too. So Iguana went home to make stripes. On the way, Iguana saw Goose taking a nap. Her feathers were flapping in the breeze. Feathers, cried Iguana. Me too, me too. I want feathers too. So Iguana went home to make stripes like Zebra and feathers like Goose. First, she opened 2 jars of paint. She took a wide brush and painted stripes on her sides. Then she shook the feathers out of an old pillow and glued them on her back. Good, said Iguana. Now I have a trunk and a mane and stripes and feathers too. Everybody wondered what Iguana was doing. Why was she imitating them? Imitating means she was trying to be like them. Oh, worried Walrus, this could be a problem. At the post office, Stork was flying in with the airmail delivery. Flying, cried Iguana. Me too, me too. I want to fly too. So she went home to figure out how to make wings. Oh, this is a problem, said Walrus. Iguana can't fly. She'll hurt herself. Everybody agreed. This Me Too business had to stop before it was too late. But how? Why would a nice iguana with a lovely green color and a long bumpy tail want a trunk and mane and stripes and all the rest? Asked Lion. Why? Everybody wondered. Because, said Zebra, she must think that a trunk and a mane and stripes and all the rest are better. But how do we stop her? Wondered Elephant. That's a good question, said Stork. Everybody thought and whispered and scratched their heads. Finally, they had a plan. They wrote a letter. Stork dropped the letter on Iguana's balcony, and the letter said, "Everybody come to a costume party at the playground. All costumes must be kept secret. No talking about them." Iguana forgot all about wanting to fly. "A costume party," she cried. "Me too, me too. Everybody will be there, and I'll be there too. But what will I wear at the costume party? I want to wear what everybody else is wearing too." So when it came time for the party, Iguana still didn't have a costume. She sneaked into the playground and hid behind a tree. In the distance, behind the swings, she saw a flash of green. Near the jungle gym, she saw another flash of green. By the fountains, a flash of green. What was going on? "Oh, nobody has a trunk," cried Iguana. Quickly she took off her trunk. "Oh, nobody has a mane," she cried. She pulled off her mane. "Oh, nobody has stripes. Nobody has feathers." Iguana wiped off the stripes and pulled off the feathers. Then she moved closer to get a better look. Everybody's costume was a lovely green color. Everybody had a long, bumpy tail. Everybody was dressed as an iguana. "Come join the party," they called. "You're dressed perfectly." "But I'm not wearing a costume," cried Iguana. "This is just plain old me." Then Stork said, "There's a prize for the best iguana, and the prize goes to—" He turned slowly around. "The prize goes to Iguana. You have the loveliest, greenest color," smiled Stork. "You have the longest, bumpiest tail. Congratulations. We all think you're wonderful just the way you are." "Yes," said Iguana, very surprised. "I do too." The end. Well, I hope you had a fun day, and I hope you continue learning letter I. Maybe you can do some cutting, and maybe you can even do some measuring for your math today. See you next time for the letter of the day. Goodbye.